Hey, it's Quasimodo Good Game Fun Time, back at you with another Overwatch character discussion. Today we're going to talk about Zenyatta. Let's go over his abilities. His primary fire is the Orb of Destruction, which is a linear projectile. He has 20 rounds of that. He can also do his Orb Volley, which is a linear projectile just like the Orb of Destruction, but it's a charge up. You get 20 ammo with that also. It's the same ammo, but you can use up to 5 rounds per volley. Depending on how long you charge is how many you get to shoot. He has his Orb of Harmony because he is a healer support character. It's a targeted homing projectile, and it does heal for 30 health per second. He has the Orb of Discord, which is an increase of damage, another targeted homing projectile. You put that on the enemies for plus 30% damage received. His ultimate is Transcendence. Let's go over all his abilities in detail now. So the Orb of Destruction, which is his primary fire, does damage per projectile, and you can do shots per second. The reload time's 2 seconds, and it does give headshots. The Orb Volley is chargeable up to 5 rounds, and depending on how long you charge it is how many rounds you shoot. The damage output is also 46 per orb, but you can do a maximum of 230 per volley because of the 5 rounds, if you land all 5 hits. Reload time's the same, you can also get headshots with that. So fully charged is 4 seconds, and uncharged is 1.1 second. The Orb of Harmony is your healing. It gives a targeted homing projectile, 30 health per second. Projectile speed doesn't matter. Your maximum range is 40 meters, where you can put the buff on someone. You can only do one on a single person at a time. So you have to be mindful of where your tanks and your support characters are and whose health pool is lowest. Next is the Orb of Discord. It's another targeted homing projectile. It's a debuff. It increases the damage received by 30% of enemy opponents you put it on. You can only have one of those active at one time. And Transcendence, his ultimate, gives you healing 300 health per second. It gives you increased movement speed of 11 meters per second and a maximum range of 10 meter radius, which is pretty big. So just make sure everyone stacks up on that 10 meters. Has a 6-second duration. So the strategy for Zenyatta, he's a potent offense-focused support. He does deal a lot of damage, but he does not have any type of defense other than his health pool. So you want to stick around your tanks with him at all times. Don't really chase after the support characters. They should be able to make it back to you to get healed. He's not a very good primary healer, but he does do a lot of damage. His damage assistance can actually turn the tide of battle. So even though he is not a powerful healer such as Mercy, his Orb of Harmony and Transcendence abilities are more than enough to let him keep a team alive when used smartly. So all of this power is counterbalanced by a severe lack of mobility. He's pretty slow. Unless he's using his ultimate, he moves at a relatively slow pace and has no abilities to speed him up. It makes him vulnerable to people who are agile for flanking or large amounts of incoming fire. Like I said, stick around your tanks. They'll help you survive longer. So some tips for Zenyatta. Even though his orbs are pretty small in size, it masks their incredible damage potential. He can outdamage many offense heroes if he's accurate with his shots. The orbs do. This is for the Orb of Destruction. Have a small amount of travel time. As with other projectiles, lead your shots slightly so that they hit the moving targets. Use a secondary fire to ambush stationary targets like Bastion or Widowmaker. You can pop out from behind a quarter after you charged up. It's not that loud of a charge, and he doesn't say anything when he's charging it. So use that to your advantage when trying to snipe people from afar that are stationary. The sudden burst of orbs will usually kill them instantly. It doesn't give them much time to react because they have a quick travel time. His Orb of Discord is a powerful basic ability. It has no cooldown. It can be applied as often as Zenyatta likes. It greatly increases the damage the target takes by 30%. So you want to put this on your biggest threat to your team at that moment. In general, tanks like Winston and Reinhardt are prime targets. If your team is being harassed by a powerful offense hero like Pharah, you can throw it on her, or someone who's really annoying the team with their high mobility. And you throw that on the Orb of Discord and then use your Orb of Destruction to kill them. They will take massive damage because the base damage, if you hit all 5, is 230, so 30% on top of that. He's a hard-hitting healer. His Orb of Harmony, it's not the strongest of heals, but it's still considerable. And it allows him to turn his attention toward damaging enemies while he's healing, so it makes him impressive in that aspect. Since it's not particularly strong, he should prioritize healing to allies who have lower health or are closer to death instead of tanks, as the latter will take very long to heal with Orb of Harmony. I mean, it doesn't mean you won't heal your tank, but if they're not in danger of dying, you don't need to focus on them right away. He's more of the party healer as opposed to the tank healer. The Orb of Harmony will remain on the target 3 seconds after you lose line of sight, so take advantage of this by constantly ducking in and out of sight with them to refresh the duration while still avoiding enemy fire. So he's pretty good for popping in and out behind quarters, sniping people from afar, and healing his allies, as well as debuffing the enemy. So Pharah is a good one to pair up with him, because she can make great use of the orb, as she usually maintains constant line of sight with Zenyatta while in the air. His ultimate ability, when activated, becomes invulnerable to damage for several seconds, which is 6, and generates an aura around himself that rapidly heals any allies standing within it. He cannot use any other weapons or abilities while Transcendence is active, though he can move at an accelerated rate. He does still remain targetable, and so can be affected by knockbacks as normal, just not damaged. He's invulnerable for those 6 seconds. So this is his only real defensive ability. Use it when you're being attacked and are near to your team, as it will keep both you and them alive. The healing from Transcendence is massive, able to easily outpace many ultimates like Pharah's Barrage. Keep in mind that it will not keep an ally alive if they take a single packet of damage in excess of their maximum health, such as from Tracer's Pulse Bomb. Because of Zenyatta's active role in combat, this ultimate tends to charge quickly. Don't be afraid to use it, if it will help your team to consistently win small skirmishes, such as recapturing a point or overtaking the payload. Transcendence will not heal allies if they're not in the line of sight or behind an enemy barrier. So his general strategies, Zenyatta is a pretty challenging support to play. He's only got an average health pool and no way to speed himself up or dodge attacks beyond moving erratically, jumping around. He has the potential to be instantly killed by a wide variety of heroes, such as the snipers. While his abilities are rather simple, his gameplay is not, requiring you to balance helping your team by dealing damage while staying alive so that the Orb of Discord and the Orb of Harmony remain active, staying in line of sight with the enemies and your teammates so those buffs don't wear off. Due to the Orb of Harmony's low health regen rate, it's encouraged to play Zenyatta when you have another healer on your team, like a Mercy or a Lucio, or a team that is prevalent in multiple healing abilities, such as Roadhog's Take a Breather or Soldier 76's Biotic Field. Due to the Orb of Destruction's lack of damage fall-off, Zenyatta can be very powerful if played in a sniper position. Do be aware, though, that if you are too far away, you will not be able to use your Orb of Harmony or Orb of Discord, because those are only the 40-meter range. Target enemies that struggle to deal with snipers such as Tracer, Reaper, Junkrat, Bastion, and Torbjorn's turret. If you can outrange it, you can take it out. Also be aware that if someone moves behind you, you will die very quickly if caught off guard, so be aware of all your surroundings. Due to you being behind your team most of the time, coupled with your damage fall off or lack thereof, and Bastion's high damage fall off and his Sentry minigun, an enemy Bastion will do very little damage to you. This strategy can be used to snipe a stationary Bastion and remove the effective defensive abilities he can bring to a team fight. Try to position yourself so that you minimize the number of directions the enemy can fire at you from. This is especially critical if the enemy team has a good Widowmaker, as a charged body shot will take a large amount of your health. Keep a constant eye on nearby side routes and listen for the sounds of approaching flankers so that you can be prepared for them. Try to always stay at the back of your team to minimize the amount of damage you take. Stay behind the barrier, stay behind your tanks, stay close to your support characters and the other healer. If you're being constantly harassed by flankers, however, it can be better to stay closer to a tank like Reinhardt, who can block their damage and drive them away. If an enemy flanker, so your Tracer, manages to get behind you, don't try to run. Zenyatta cannot outrun mobile heroes like them. Instead, hit them with your Orb of Discord and move erratically while firing your Orb of Destruction at them. One headshot and one body shot from a Discord-empowered Orb of Destruction is enough to kill both Tracer and Genji, assuming they don't have bonus health from Symmetra or Torbjorn. The majority of Zenyatta's health is composed of shields. If you take damage, retreat into cover for a few seconds to allow it to regenerate. Consider pairing Zenyatta with Symmetra. The bonus shields provided by Shield Generator make it very difficult to remove Zenyatta from a fight for as long as he is covered. This also makes him more durable in general, allowing him to win fights against flankers more consistently and providing more protection from snipers trying to pick him off. The auto-targeting reticle from the Orb of Discord can be useful when firing at distance, as it will give you a general idea of their location. It's especially helpful if they're obscured by large particle effects, such as ultimates from Hanzo's Dragon Strike, stuff like that. It's through walls, which can help you predict an enemy emerging from cover, shower them with the Orb Volley. Transcendence still allows you to be targeted by enemy abilities, Though they will deal no damage to you, they can still knock you back and away from your team, nullifying the healing. If up against enemies with strong knockbacks like Pharaoh Roadhog, try to position yourself so that you'll be flung into a corner or a nearby wall to stay by your allies. Like Junkrat, Zenyatta can easily fire down choke point and prevent easy movement through. His large clip size and projectile weapon can provide almost constant fire. If an enemy is on the other side of a corner, it's sometimes a good idea to use a charge shot to take them by surprise before they can react. In my experience with playing with Zenyatta, I've noticed that you can get a lot of kills really fast with him. He's a great support character, but you have to learn how to effectively use his abilities. Stay by your tanks, stay with your support characters. You always need someone around you. He's not a good solo character to play, so be sure you're aware of your surroundings, aware of where the enemies are. Throw your orbs up to do the buffs and debuffs. Use your Transcendence effectively to heal your allies, or just to escape if everyone's died so you can retreat and regroup. This has been another Quasi Quickie, a character discussion of Zenyatta. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate everyone stopping by, and you have a great day or night. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. You can go ahead and click on the right to subscribe and on the left for another video to watch. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you stop by again. I greatly appreciate the support. And as always, happy gaming!